Hello, this is wmpyr here to do I guess it's kind of like a product comparison review, but I don't really want to focus on that. It's more like I want to talk about these devices, because if you want to do a product comparison review, I guess just go to Amazon and read about, read the reviews there. So, I want to go a little bit more in depth, okay? So the first one is this guy right here. This is the Bas Rutten O2 Trainer. Bas Rutten is a legendary MMA fighter. The guy's a legend in the sport. One of the early on in the sport, and amazing fighter. And the fact that he invented this, I would say genius, because my asthma was severe. I mean, that doesn't really capture it. I don't know. People are not going to understand that, but it was severe. And after I started using this, 2016 of April, pretty much I felt the effects immediately, and I became asthma free, which is unthinkable for me. I was suffering from asthma so bad all my life that you just accept it. And that sounds like nothing. Okay, so you accept it. Well, I mean, it's a big part of your life. Like at least 3 times a week, I'm gonna have asthma, and sometimes more. And when I have asthma, it's usually at night, and then that means from like 12 o'clock to like 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm not sleeping. So you can imagine how tired I'm going to be the next day. It messes you up, and that can happen repeatedly. So it really messes up your life. And I mean, this is not even including the ones that you get during the day. So anyway, I just want to, for those of you that may not understand, it was severe. So to all of a sudden go and I'm at 40 plus years old, where I've had asthma like all my life, to the point where half my childhood was in the hospital. My dad at the time was working a really good job where he was banking in some serious cash, but because of my asthma and going to the hospital so much, I almost bankrupted the guy, which is insane. And so anyway, I just want to let you guys kind of get a glimpse of how severe it was. Just going to the ER and getting IV and just all, just being in the hospital all the time as a kid. This was like normal for me, just to give you guys an idea. So that turned into anger. That turned into a drive and a passion to study, to make myself stronger through martial arts. And so that's why I guess at 40 plus years old, I'm still doing martial arts. I'm still able to kind of like have that drive, that determination. It all came from the asthma and battling it all my life. But anyway, so this thing completely changed my life. I wish I had discovered it much earlier, but it's amazing. That's all I have to say. The best investment I've ever made. Before that, my whole family, we tried everything. Nothing worked. I mean, we tried, state-of-the-art oxygen breathing stuff, from NASA. I mean, we tried acupuncture, all kinds of herbal stuff, all kinds of stuff. We tried everything, and none of it worked. So, and then all of a sudden this worked. So it's just insane. So let me just show you guys. You put this in your mouth, right? And then you could just do breathing exercises. Now, forget all the, the altitude stuff. Just ignore the altitude stuff. And the only thing you really need to know is that this, I think Bas Rutten, the way that he said it was, this is like lifting weights, but for your lungs. You're just going to make your lungs stronger through exercise. So with this, you just do breathing exercises, so you could do that. But what I personally like to do, I do that, and sometimes while playing video games and stuff, I just have this on and I'm playing video games. But what I like to do personally is to go exercise while I have this on. And then when I do that, you have to go lighter. It has to be easier because, I've never passed out from it, but if I went wild and I made this a very hard setting, and then I did a hard workout, I could see myself passing out. There were times where I had to spit it out in mid workout because I felt like I was maybe perhaps going to go dizzy because I pushed it too hard, you know. So, but that's personally what I like to do. I enjoyed working out and having this in my mouth, and so I started with a punching bag, and I was working out that way. There's plenty of other exercises you could do, just even doing Hindu squats. That's awesome. And with this, it makes it 10 times harder, and it's brutal. So you don't even have to spend like 30 minutes for exercise. It doesn't even have to be that long. This can shorten your exercise like crazy, yet you're still building cardio. I mean, it's just so many benefits to using something like this. So on the punching bag, I first started with 3 minutes. That was brutal. Went to 20 minutes, and now I'm doing basically 40 minutes with this. And then when I started adding the kicks, man, it went right back down to like 2 minutes. I couldn't even do 3 minutes once I'm putting in the Muay Thai style kicks. I get worn out super fast. And now mixing in punches and kicks, elbows, knees, putting it all together, hitting the bag, you know, relatively hard, going relatively hard at times. You know, you sometimes you go real hard and then you calm back down. I could do that for 40 minutes now, and I believe it's thanks to this that I'm able to do that. Now, it comes in this right here, and show you guys the inside right here. So you see a whole bunch of accessories. This is a nose clip, which I don't use. It's recommended that you do so that you don't cheat by breathing through your nose. I inhale. Obviously, you inhale through this, and it makes the inhale restricted, and that's what forces your lungs to really work on that suction, you know, so you could breathe stronger. And then the exhale, just breathe out my nose. So I personally don't use this, and it's been fine. And let's see. So all these things that you see here, all these things right here, those are caps and different hole sizes. So as you can see, like right here, this is 0, I guess. So it's the largest size hole available. And then you can see something like this where the hole becomes a little bit smaller. And then you see this, which is 14, which is absolute smallest hole available. So, you know, you change that, and it makes your workout harder. And they advise, they gave numbers, which I don't even remember, but like if you're just going to do breathing exercises, they recommend like, you know, use from here to here. And then if you're going to do like exercise and wear this, then go around this number, but don't go higher than this. Like they have numbers like that. I forgot where I found that info, but and I pretty much stuck to that, and it has worked great. The thing about this though is that when you use this afterwards, you got to clean it every time. I mean, it's like a mouthpiece, right? It basically is. So you don't want to just leave your mouthpiece in your bag and next week you come back and put that in your mouth. It's just extremely dirty. So you need to clean it. You need to clean it well. I mean, don't they say like the mouth is like the dirtiest part of a person or something? It's no joke. You really, really have to clean this. There's been times where, you know, I've been lazy about it or didn't do a good job with it, and I noticed it got dirty real fast. And I've been using this so much that I put in a lot of time. I mean, I've used this like sometimes multiple times a day, sometimes 5 days a week, sometimes even more. So I put in a lot of mileage into this, and you know, like I said, becoming asthma free is seriously the best word for that I can say is miracle. In my case, because my asthma was so severe, miracle is no joke for me to say that, you know. It's just something that it wasn't even supposed to happen. So, you know, Bas Rutten, you are a guardian angel for me, and I just can't, if I see you in person, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to thank you, you know. Yeah, it's amazing. That's all I got to say. It changed my life. And I recommend it to anybody that has, you know, asthma. And if you don't have asthma, just to become a better athlete. For me, if I was a coach for an MMA team, I'd be like, this is mandatory. You know, you guys are all going to do it. So the other one I want to bring up is because I made this so dirty, I, not just this, but also the caps. I was like, I need to have something clean. So I could have bought another one, but and I'm working on cleaning it. But in the meantime, I wanted to try a different product, right? And the one that I got was this one right here, Expanda-A-Lung. Okay, pretty much from what I gather, same concept. The thing is, look, this one, like I said, I've been using it since 2016. And I've been using it a lot since 2016. So I feel like I know it very, very well, like the back of my hand. It's very easy to use. It's very easy for me to understand. This one, this is the third time I use it. So the first time and the second time, I just like, maybe the second time I was playing video games, and the first time I just tried it out. Just doing breathing exercises, just sitting there like at the kitchen table. Second time was while I played video games. Third time was tonight on the punching bag. And on the it says top right here. I couldn't even see. They said make sure the top where it says top, put that on that should be on the top side, right? I looked at it, and I was like, where does it say top? I can't find. Well, now I guess because of the lighting, I can see it. Barely visible, it says top on there. So that's the side that goes on the top, because I've tried it this way, I've tried it this way, and it does feel different. It feels different in your mouth. The angle and the way this is formed, it just felt different in the mouth. And I was trying to figure out which way feels better, and I'm still not sure. So now that I know that this side says top, you can barely see it. So now I'll try that, And so yeah, this is just something new that I learned. And it came with this zip tie on there, which my first instinct was to take it off, but then I was like, dude, don't take it off. So I didn't. I don't know if you're supposed to or not. It kind of looks unprofessional, right? So I feel like I want to take it off, but if I take it off, I don't know, is this going to have problems just coming off? Like if I blowing it real hard, is that going to be a problem? I don't know. I don't know. So for right now, I'm just leaving it on. It feels a little strange, but it seems like a good idea. If it does come off or rip off, believe it or not, that happens with zip ties. It seems like it won't, right? But I've had it just come off on other things. So if it does, I have plenty of spare, so I'm fine. I'll just reattach it, so that's not a problem. So this thing right here, the good thing about this is that you have a dial here rather than changing the caps. Changing the caps really is not that big of a deal, but you see, now I got to carry all of this right here. And the way that I went around that, like if I was traveling or something, I would just get the ones that I know for sure that I'm going to use, which is honestly like maximum 3, So I would just take like 2, max 3 with me. And I guess you could only have, if you wanted to go super light, just have 1 on there and you'll be fine. But then, I wanted to have the ability to adjust the settings. So, but this, you get the entire gauge right here. So that's nice. That is. The problem with that is that since, like, when you turn it, there's no clicking. I wish it clicked, like click, 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 so then I can kind of count at least. There is no, it just says plus and minus, and it doesn't say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like tell me the level. Whereas these caps have the level written on there, so I know exactly like, okay, today I worked out with a 10. Tomorrow I'm going to do an 11, or, and I know it's a little bit easier, a little bit harder. Like I know exactly what I'm doing with the caps. With this, I have no idea. It's just kind of like, okay, I think around there, that's a little tighter than it was earlier, than yesterday's workout. So I'll make it a little tighter. So I'll make the breathing a little bit more difficult, or, I can only guess. There's nothing, maybe I could mark this somehow, but as of the way it is right now, it's not clear cut for me. So that's a negative compared to this. But the positive part, like I said, is that because it's a dial, you get the whole thing right here. You don't have to change caps. You don't have to carry the whole thing around, you know. The other thing is the mouth, the way this fits into the mouth. If you compare, this gives you way more stability. You get more to bite on. So I do like that, okay? But I will say, when I am punching and stuff, because sometimes your hands are close here, I have accidentally knocked it out of my mouth a couple of times. That has happened, you know, and because sometimes, because bare knuckle maybe not, but when I have the punching bag, and it could be fairly big, you know, it can definitely get in the way and hit it out of my mouth. So that has happened. That did not happen with this today, but that's just once. You know, this I've only done it one time, so I don't know if that will be an issue or not. I'll tell you this, because this one has plastic right here, I do not want to drop this. This one, I punch it out and it flies out. I don't want to put it right away in my mouth, especially if I'm in the garage, and this went into the garage floor. But I don't have to worry about necessarily breaking anything. So in that sense, this is impact resistance. So I do like that. It is, I guess this is like a type of silicone. So I wouldn't be really super rough with it. You know, you don't want to tear stuff like the cap and stuff. And same with this area, you don't want to tear this off. So I would be careful with that. But and I said, even though with this one you don't get as much like bite grip with this. Is it an issue? It hasn't been an issue. It just, I'm so used to this. This feels a little lacking because it's, you know, less area to bite. But it hasn't been an issue. So, you know, I'm sure I just need to get used to it. But, you know, like I said, it's no contest. I put in, you know, way more time with this one. And like I said, this one, this is the third day. So the third time I use it. So that's you can't make a good comparison that way. But, you know, I just wanted to bring this up to you guys. But the concept, the way that they work so far, it seems to operate the same way. It pretty much relatively feels the same. The one thing about this is, like, when you go down to 14, it's really brutal to breathe. You're like, you know, it's hard. You could really feel that. With this, I put it pretty tight, like where I think this is all the way. I don't want to break it. So, and once again, it's kind of hard to tell because this is all it is. I don't know what is the end. So, you know, I just, you know, rotate it and it starts to get real hard. It's already tight. And I go, I think this is it. And then I breathe from it. And it doesn't completely seal it off. You can still, I go all the way and I can still breathe from it. And it's not as difficult as this one. That's all I got to say. Not to say that, you know, it's not challenging enough. Like when I worked out today on the bag, I definitely put it on a easier setting. I didn't put it all the way to the max and try it out and go, yeah, this is too weak. No, I didn't do that. You know, I don't want to pass out, you know, while I'm working out. So I definitely didn't do that. But just letting you guys know, between the two, the maximum setting of this one, which I don't even know if it is the maximum setting, but so far what I've experienced, and I could be doing it wrong, and the maximum setting of this one, the O2 Trainer seemed harder. That's all I got to say. And not necessarily a bad thing for this one, because are you really going to put it, you know, do you really need it to, because I've never worked out with the, what is the max, the 14 on this one, the max setting on this one, on doing the punching bag. I mean, I can try, but it's just impossible. I'm not going to last at all. It's just having it on that and just trying to breathe itself is difficult enough. So anyway, I hope this just sheds some light for you guys. Either way, I highly recommend this kind of stuff. Now that I know that this kind of stuff exists, and I'm so glad that they do exist. in today's world, I will never be without one. I will always be purchasing this stuff. I will always have them because, yeah, this is just amazing. I want to make my lungs as strong as possible. So when I'm like 60 years old, I'll be confident that I have much stronger lungs than the average person, and I'll be okay. You know that I'm not going to die of an asthma attack at an older age. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for listening, and take care, folks.